Well, let's get to today's Daily Dish. The mummy of an Egyptian king has been digitally unwrapped for the very first time.
Really?
3,500-year-old mummified remains of the pharaoh Amenhotep was so fragile that archaeologists never dared to expose the remains for good reason. Now, using non-invasive digital techniques, Egyptian scientists have used three-dimensional CT scanning to unwrap the mummy. Researchers found that the pharaoh was about 35 years old, 5'5", had curly hair and healthy teeth.
Really?
He also noted the mummy suffered multiple post-mortem injuries, likely from grave robbers back in the day.
Yeah, well, if it had healthy teeth, you know it wasn't from Britain. I kid, but only so much. I remember, now I was watching some documentary. I've watched the Beatles documentary, Get Back, right? I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen it yet, yeah.
It really is good. Peter Jackson did it. Of course, he did Lord of the Rings, too. But one of the things, I don't think Paul recounts this in this episode, but it was like one of those little documentaries that Paul was doing. McCartney said, my dad gave me one bit of advice, when I was growing up in Liverpool, England. He said, go ahead and just get your teeth taken out right now at age 20. He said, because it will save you a lot of dental work and a lot of headaches and a lot of expense later on down the road. That's how bad it is.
Sage advice from your dad.
That's from your dad. Your dad said, just get rid of your teeth now, because I guess he had all these problems. He saw so many other people had all these problems with their teeth.
Do you think Paul did it?
Paul did not do it. He said, I did not take my dad's advice. And he also said, instead of saying, he goes, my dad always said, instead of you guys going, yeah, 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 go, yes, yes, yes. It's so American to say, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yes,
yeah, well, yes, yes. And somehow it doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it really doesn't. Not at all.
That was interesting. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get a peek at what a human base on Mars might look like. This concept was created by Texas-based construction tech startup Icon. The 1,700 square foot habitat is known as Mars Dune Alpha. That sounds kind of ominous, doesn't it? It
does. I like it.
It's under construction at the Johnson Space Center. The company says the habitat will simulate the challenges of missions on Mars, including, but not limited to, resource limitations, equipment failure, communication delays, and environmental stressors. No big deal, really. 3D printing, of course, is preferred for constructing extraterrestrial habitats because it requires no materials.
Not to mention there are no cell towers anywhere close.
I'm not going. I don't need that kind of stress.
You can't use Wi-Fi up there on Mars.
Yes. I'm not going.
Well, here's the thing. All I know is that right now, anybody that goes to Mars, it's a one-way ticket. That's what I do know. And I know that Lance Bass wants to be one of those who goes to Mars.
Does he really?
Yeah, the former NSYNC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. We'll see if he ends up being one.
I'll stay here where I'm better acquainted.
I kind of like it here on terra firma. I'm right there with you.
I do too. Well, what would you like to eat if you could eat candy all the time with no consequences? This is so interesting. Researchers have discovered a small percentage of people in Greenland, of all places, they're able to eat all the sweets they like without gaining weight.
What?
Scientists credit a genetic mutation that allows about 3% of the island's population to process sugar differently than the rest of us. It essentially just bypasses the bloodstream altogether, heads straight to the intestines where it's broken down. In return, with the mutations, the people with the mutations are less likely to be overweight or suffer from obesity-related diseases.
This is a mutation I need. Here's the thing.
What if we could offer ourselves up to a study?
That's a study I need to be a part of, right?
Well, I know I don't have that gene. I can tell you that.
I don't have it either. But I mean, seriously, that's one of the things. Once they map the human genome, I mean, you can find this stuff out. But it's little things like this.
But why in Greenland?
That make me hopeful, though, for that one of these days.
Oh, we're not going to live long enough to get that gene.
Our grandkids might have.
You might. But yes, our grandkids
the ability to, who knows,
Well, if they're going to need a gene mutation if they're related to me, because I sure heck don't have that one, I promise you.
Oh, well, good for future people who might actually, be able to eat sweets without gaining weight.